Hi, this is Jon Girod, owner of Quail Homes. We'll be discussing home finance and then how that works throughout the construction process. So when you build a home with us, we customize every home. So the majority of our clients are financing their homes where they're the owner. They actually buy the lot, and then we act as a general contractor, and then we have a separate contract for the home and a separate contract for the lot. And the contract for the lot is just basically a standard RMLS form that we use, and then on our contract is the builder contract, which we'll have another video explaining that. As far as financing the home goes, there's a variety of ways to do it. It is not your traditional, when you buy a finished home, you get a mortgage from a mortgage broker and then you close on the property. When you build, it's much different. The loans are called all-in-one loans or custom perm loans. So if you go that route where you want to work with a bank, that's the type of loan, and that's what the industry calls them. And I'll explain how those work. First, I'd like to explain our clients. If you took like the majority over the last 10 years of the clients and you pooled them up and looked at how they finance their homes, about a third will work with cash, or within their portfolio, their stocks and bonds, work with their wealth advisor and get a loan on that portfolio. Or on their existing home, they have a lot of equity. They'd work with a mortgage lender, maybe one that we recommend or someone they know, and they can actually get a bridge loan on their current home to help finance the new home. In many cases, when they get that bridge loan, think of it like a home equity loan. They're actually supplementing it with some cash. So a real standard way of doing a build is paying cash for the lot and getting a loan for the build. That's pretty common. And so those are ways to work it without going through a traditional all-in-one or custom perm loan. One of the goals that all of our clients have is they don't want to move twice, and they don't want to make double payments. So double payments comes in if you have a mortgage on your current home, and then as you build, am I going to have to make payments on that custom perm loan? And the answer is no, it's built into the loan. So we try to make it as easy as we can that we can actually get the new home under construction and built, and you would have one move. And that's pretty common with our clients. So let's talk about that custom perm loan for a minute. So again, we have a lot that gets closed, and then we're hired as the builder, as the general contractor. And both these contracts are used to get the loan. It gets turned into the lender. They would order an appraisal just like anything else. And then when that gets approved, we're just really waiting for building permits to come out, and then we would close on the lot, or if you already own the lot, we would start the home. We get paid on a monthly basis. As a general contractor, as we perform the work, we'll get progress payments. And what we have, the lenders will call it construction draws. Just think of you having a pool of money in that loan that's set up. In a monthly basis, you take a chunk out of it each month. So in the loan, or in this draw form that I'm going to show you in a few minutes here, let's say that was a $700,000 budget roughly. That $700,000 would be sitting over here. If it took 7 months to build, they're going to grab chunks of that. It wouldn't be $100,000 each month, it'd be the actual dollar amount, and I'll explain how that works. And so you're not really paying interest on the money until you pull it out, okay? And so we'll explain that in a second. What we try to do for our clients, and I know it's really scary sometimes, all the horror stories, where am I in my budget? This is what I got in my loan. I don't want to go over it. I don't want to put the cash into it. And really, it's up to the builder to organize that and make sure you know where you're at, and not get the surprise 5-6 months into the build, hey, we're $100,000 over, we're going to need more money. When you hire us, you will not have that problem. And let me show you how we do that. What we're looking at right now is this has been refined over many years. This is our draw form, and let me explain how this works. On the far left, you can see the item description right over here. See my little hand? And these on the below here kind of matches our construction schedule, and these are our accounting codes that we put in the system, and this is where we set up the budget. And so when we have the house, a budget is built really by what we call your infrastructure costs, excavation, foundation, framing, stuff like that the plan has on there. It's really not a lot of customer choices. Let's say that's roughly 60% of the budget is really what we call infrastructure. And we have those numbers at our fingertips. The numbers for your selections are the other items that you work with Nicole. And we combine all these numbers into one, and this is where we manage our business off of. Every client is on the left. These items include all the costs from plans all the way down. There's the concrete down here. You get down to the bottom all the way through landscaping punch list. You can see everything's here. Okay? I know it looks busy, but once you get used to using it, it's real easy. So once the budget's established, this is what we work off on our contract. So the estimated budget with our client on here, we come right here to this total at the bottom. See total price? So this contract for our client was $771,000 for the home build, okay? And that's where we set that up. And then remember I talked about the progress payments? Well, right here, you can see first draw, second draw, third draw. Just think of first month, second month, third month. There's the dates up there. So this home, we made our first draw in April of 24. And this is the total amount right here. And there's totals down here that would show you the total draw amount for the first draw is $17,937. Second month, 33. Now we're getting probably into the framing. These dollars start getting bigger. And the last draws, they get small. Think of a bell curve. It starts a little bit low, builds up, comes down. And so the important part of this is we're tracking these costs. You get copies each month. You'll get copies of all the invoices. You'll approve them. We post them, and then that's when we ask for payment, okay? So you can see when we get over here in the yellow, this is the last draw that we're doing, basically the 8th month of construction. We're done. We probably were done with the home somewhere in here, and these are trailing bills. But the yellow is the current ask, if you will. And then this column shows draws to date. And what's real important is the final projected cost. So each time we ask for money, we're going to come over to this final column here, and we're going to tell you exactly where you stand. So we finished this job with a budget initially with contract is $771. Then you go to this final projected cost, $714. So we were actually under the budget by a fair amount of money. And you don't pay us for the $771, you pay us for the true costs, okay? Where we make our money is each month, there's a builder fee here, it's of 15%. You can see each month, whatever progress payments made, we're getting our builder fee right here. And that's how we pay our bills, is out of that, okay? So let me go back to the big picture. No matter what month you're in, we're gonna have this final projected cost. We really scrub through this, and you'll have a finished number every month. Remember when I said earlier, a lot of builders, they get in the 5th, 4th, 5th, 6th month, and they realize, oh my gosh, we're way over budget. You'll never have that surprise. You're gonna know ahead of time, because we're gonna give you the projected cost, and then we can make some decisions if there happens to be any overages. And let me show you how we get our budgeting so accurate. In this far right column is our customer notes, and you can see we're posting the budget based on quotes we've got here. And so our team is working in this area. Every time the quote comes in, we lock in the price and it shows where they are and the date. There's a change order that got posted there for something the client wanted. So this is a very important column, and basically once we lock in these prices, we tend not to see movement in those dollars. Okay? So let me just kind of rephrase this again. Is we set a budget, we ask for monthly draws, and then every month we're going to show you the projected costs, so you're going to know where you're at. So just as an example, during COVID, we had a lot of inflationary prices. We were working with maybe about 40 clients then, in the work in process clients, and we had a lot of meetings letting them know hey, it looks like we're going to be over budget. And so we'd sit down there and rework selections, rework some other types of things we could do for them, and then get them more in line with their budget. So when you see a home that's projected like this at 771 and coming in at 714, that's not by accident. That's a lot of work and a lot of experience. And just think of us being in your corner. I hope this helps you today. Thanks.